Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Ozan Reşat Altındiş. I'm the product marketing manager for Northern Europe. And today I have very interesting tool to show you. But first, I want to turn to my colleague Martin Wings. Hello Martin.
Hello Ozan.
Before we go into this interesting tool that helps a lot to consultants, would you like to spend some words about yourself and very shortly about PRAESENSA?
Yes, of course. My name is Martin Wings. I'm a regional marketing manager for a public address and voice alarm in the EMEA region. And PRAESENSA is our new PA system, which is IP-based. And I would like to show you now a small introduction into this new system.
So PRAESENSA is a fully IP-based public address and voice alarm system. And I would like to show you a little bit what the system looks like so you get a better understanding on what hardware components we have that altogether make the system. This is the PRAESENSA system, which comprises various modules which make the family. So what we see here is the system controller, which is responsible for routing the audio towards the amplifiers. Here we have the amplifier, which comes in a 4-channel or an 8-channel version. They provide 600 watts with dynamic power distribution, so you only use the power that you actually need in the zones. And here on the bottom is the multifunction power supply, which is powering the rest of the system through mains as also normal battery backup. System also comes with call stations, so this is the desktop call station. We also have a wall-mounted version, and it is featured with a touchscreen display, so the operator actually is guided by, for instance, making a call. The touchscreen display is giving feedback when the operator needs to speak, whether the call is delivered successfully. The feedback is also provided. So if you want to have a better understanding, have a look at the complete portfolio, but these are some of the components that are building the PRAESENSA family. So now we have seen what the system looks like. I would talk to you a little bit about the core elements that are making the features of this system. So there are 5 pillars that are basically defining the sales value proposition. So the first one is that the system is fully IP and it is also secure IP. The second one is that it is using an effective power utilization to save power and utilize the power as good as possible in your system. The third one is high system availability, because we're also talking about safety systems. We always need to have a constant working system. And the fourth one is the user experience. So PRAESENSA is not only designed from a technical point of view, but it has also incorporated a lot of user feedback to make sure you have a system that is nice to work with and also appreciated by users. The fifth one of the sales value proposition is fully featured as a standard, which means the complete PRAESENSA family is basically one portfolio that allows you to build a fully EN54 certified PA voice alarm solution without adding additional components outside the portfolio. So the first one, secure IP, I would like to show a little bit what does that mean for PRAESENSA. We will have a short glance at this short introduction movie to get a better understanding.
Every device in a PRAESENSA installation is fully interconnected via Omnio, the advanced media networking architecture. This enables digital audio communication and complete system control across the entire IP network. Omnio is a flexible, scalable, and secure architecture which is based on proven technologies and open standards. Omnio supports audio encryption and real-time authentication across the network for added protection against eavesdropping and hacking. This professional-grade media networking architecture allows PRAESENSA to take full advantage of the benefits of secure IP. That means greater scalability for centralized and decentralized systems and easier installation and better audio quality than any other public address and voice alarm system available today.
So now we have seen what fully IP-based and secure IP-based actually means for PRAESENSA. Next topic I would like to introduce is the effective power utilization. So we know from experience that often there is a mismatch between the installed system power and the actually used system power, and we tried with PRAESENSA to bring those figures as close as possible together, so we are utilizing the system power to the maximum. Also there I have a small animation to show you how that works.
PRAESENSA adapts intelligently to connected loudspeaker loads, dividing the available output power across all channels to a maximum of 600 watts. Innovative load sensing allows PRAESENSA to maximize efficiency, which means less surplus power, less supply power, and fewer amplifiers are needed to cover the speaker's power demand. Each PRAESENSA amplifier includes a spare amplifier channel, which automatically takes over in the case of a failing channel. Compared with traditional systems, PRAESENSA uses around half the amount of amplifier power to do the same job. This reduces rack space, heat loss, and fewer batteries are required.
So since we are talking about a safety system, high availability is one of the things that are extremely important. So also here with PRAESENSA, from the core design of the system inside out, we already considered in the first system design that high availability should be part of the concept. So we have 5 different features inside the system that is helping you to avoid any single point of failure in the single system, to make sure that it is always working properly. Also there we have a small animation to show to you how is that reflected in PRAESENSA.
PRAESENSA gives you robust and comprehensive security with a design created to ensure no single point of failure. All devices and network connections on the system are constantly supervised, as are critical signal paths and functions. In the case of a failing amplifier channel, there is an integrated additional spare amplifier channel which will automatically take over. Each amplifier channel has 2 loudspeaker outputs which are separately supervised and protected, ensuring uninterrupted coverage in all areas. Every system device uses dual Ethernet ports and will recover automatically should a network link break. To maximize system availability, each PRAESENSA device has twin power converters. These, along with the battery backup facilities, make the entire system immune to mains failures.
Thank you very much, Martin, for the nice presentation. I think we have all seen that PRAESENSA is already a very successful product and accepted by the market. But today we will be talking about configuration utility tool, which actually helps consultants and everybody to specify PRAESENSA and to design it. Can you please tell us what it is?
Yes, thank you for that question, Ozan. Indeed, as you can see here on the slide that we have created, we all know that if you're dealing with a PA system, you will be going through a specific process. So you have a project, maybe an office building which needs to be designed. So you will do your project evaluation, you will go through your planning, and at some point you also come to design of the system, and eventually if you want to bring it to a tender on the market, you will go into the specification process. So in order to support those who are involved in specification or designing a PRAESENSA system, this tool can be downloaded on a special website that we have also recently launched. It's a website especially for consultants and specifiers. So if you go on the internet with your browser and you start a Google search for the Bosch Security Systems webpage, you will end up on the global webpage of Bosch Security Systems. So if you go on this one, you will find that there is a menu, and in the menu you will find the solution section, and within the solution section we have public address and voice alarm. So if you click on this one, you see that we have now this special web page that is linked on our corporate website for consultants. And this is a website which basically clusters all the consultant resources that we have with specific download types. So it includes things like A&E specifications, it gives you access to data sheets. If we have a loudspeaker, it gives you access to EASE files or maybe BIM files. Everything is clustered in one specific location. So here, for instance, A&E specifications, you can see it for our different brands. We already have also for public address. We have some some pre-cooked standard texts that you can take from the web page. You can download them and you can modify them. And this is even beside what the tool itself is generating. So as you see, this was, for instance, the submenu of the A&E specifications. Here you find access to our EASE files, the BIM files, etc., etc. So the one that I want to point out to today is actually the design tools. So we have various design tools available for selecting the right loudspeaker, for doing some power calculations. But the one that we want to highlight today is actually the system configuration utility. So this is the tool which really allows you to take a project design, bring it into the system, and the system will automatically do a power calculation for you. It will automatically generate a bill of material, and it will also automatically create a tender text for you, which you can use in a PDF format or convert it into Word so that you can use it for your specifications. So this is now recently launched. Of course, we would like everybody to use it as much as we can, and don't hesitate to get in contact with us whenever you have questions around the tool or questions around projects that you are specifying. So Ozan, as you have seen, I've shown you now where you can find the tool and where you can download it. So I would say now back over to you.
Thanks very much, Martin. So then I would like to talk a little bit about in detail how to use the tool and what it really does. First of all, even before we start, I want to show you some important things that you always have to keep in mind. And one of these points is, of course, regulations and certifications. Keep in mind that there is always a global, regional, or local regulation that you need to obey of the rules with your public address and voice alarm system. If you have any kind of hesitation on that, any kind of concern, please call Bosch and we will be helping you with our experts in many different countries. So, for example, a good example how local standards can change from country to country. Most of the Europe is using 24 hours of batteries power, but in Finland it is very common to use it up to 72 hours. And that changes a big parameter here, and it can really affect the battery calculation and the needed power for your system. These might seem as details, but actually in the system design, they are pretty important things. So if you know your regulations, if you are comfortable with it, the first thing you have to do is the loudspeaker selection and acoustics part, because you need to know what type of loudspeaker you will use, how much power will they consume per each, how many of them you will be using to cover the area that you're working about. And this is the very basic sound pressure level calculation. So this is one thing. If that is enough for you, then it's fine. So you can go to the consultant webpage, download the Bosch library with the .gll files, which is EASE address files, and you can simply add to your library, your Bosch library, to your EASE address software, which is completely free, by the way. And then you can do basic calculations like you have seen in the screen right now. Or if your project is really complicated, if you require any kind of 3D acoustical simulations, if you are working in an environment which is acoustically challenging, it can be marbles around, glasses around, and the intelligibility should actually be pretty important for you to know. In those kind of cases, we as Bosch, we always advise you to go to a professional acoustical simulation consultancy company to get that service from there. So these are the things that you always need to keep in mind when starting your project. But if you have come this far, then we always advise you to see floor plans in a pretty clear way, how the loudspeakers has been placed, what type of loudspeakers are being used in which area. So during the project, these kind of drawings may help you a lot. It is not a must, for sure not. Nevertheless, it may help a lot. If you don't have such thing, you can also create Excel files that I will show you later on. But first, one more important parameter is there, and that is to understand what type of loudspeaker cabling you will do. It matters because if you will be going with the A and B cabling, like shown here in the slide, if you are using one amplifier and two outputs of that amplifier, this means that you are actually doubling the power need in that particular loudspeaker zone. So this is redundancy part is also something that you need to keep in mind. By saying that, let me show you another example which we call block diagram. If you don't have AutoCAD drawing or a detailed floor plan, you can also draw something like that in similar different softwares. The main aim of us to see here is the clear split of the loudspeaker lines and number of amplifier channels you need per speaker line. Or even simpler, to work faster, you can simply open up an Excel file and note the names of the zones here, as shown here. You can say if you want them to be redundant or not. So here in this case, for example, you can see sales part has an A output, also a B one. So it's basically the same zone, but we want that zone to be redundant. And for example, in the technical rooms, in this example, it is not redundant because maybe the customer didn't need that. And then, of course, the line power, the wattage of each speaker line is another important parameter. So for us, for you to start using this tool, actually only this information is valid. All the rest is just advice. If you have now decided how and where you need to lose loudspeaker lines, what kind of loudspeakers you need to use, and you know the total power consumption per loudspeaker line, which also means, in other words, you know how much amplifier power you need, then actually you are ready to go into the system details and create the bill of material. So now the question is how we will design the system. And here today, we will show you a very easy way of doing that. First of all, you can either create your own Excel file, because somehow we need to upload this data we mentioned about the loudspeaker lines into the tool. And there is simply two ways of it. Either create your own Excel file, write just like shown in the picture, in 3 colors, and then convert it to a CV file, or even simpler than that. By the way, if you're doing your own Excel file, you need to follow the instructions written on the web page, because there is a spatial format of it separated with commas. So be careful about that. Or I would advise you to go to the web page of the tool. It's an online tool in a way. So you can simply download one example file from that and just edit it with your own information. This would actually be much easier. As Martin mentioned, you can go and reach to the tool from Bosch website, and this is the page when you select PRAESENSA System Configuration Utility. So here, the required input, as said also when I'm showing the slides, the loudspeaker circuit nominal voltage, power load per amplifier, or the power load limit you will choose per amplifier, and the loudspeaker circuit CSV, so-called file, to actually upload all that information into the system. And the process outputs, by giving those information to the tool, the information we will receive is submitted loudspeaker circuit list, optimize loudspeaker circuit list with circuit allocation, and this is very important and critical part, because basically tool will tell you what is the best way and what is the best way to connect loudspeaker lines to your amplifier outputs. And that puzzle that you need to solve there, the tool will solve it for you automatically. And then we will see an optimized loudspeaker circuit summary. The bill of materials, which is preliminary. Always keep in mind that if you need something else, you can of course edit it. And also the power calculation. So now let's go into the tool. The CSV file I mentioned, the sample is here. So from here, you can download and fill your own information, just like I have done here. And then click Open Data Input Form. And this online tool will first ask you if you are using your nominal voltage on 70 volts or 100 volts. 100 volts is much more common, as you may know, so I will choose that one for our example. And then ask about the power load per amplifier. Here it is a choice. The common choice is to have 15% of the amplifier power reserved. So I will go from that example. So as you know, a PRAESENSA amplifier can deliver up to 600 watts in total per an amplifier. So I will write here, I want this tool to use maximum 510 watts. So I will always know that I have 15% reserve power. And then I will simply upload my CSV file. As you can see, when I upload it, it automatically shows me a confirmation screen. So the loudspeaker circuit nominal voltage I have is 100 volts. I have selected 15% of reserve amplifier power. This is the file I'm trying to upload here. Later on, we will also see the details of this file. I have circuits, 13 circuits, 13 loudspeaker lines I have created in this file, and discarded record. So there is no failure in my Excel file right now. If there was a blank row, for example, or something was wrong, I will see a failure here. So it is good to go. I'll confirm this, and it gives me the summary. But before I want to show you the summary, I want to talk about the summary, I want to show you the Excel file itself. So as you can see here, the tool, the online tool, told me that I have 13 loudspeaker lines, and some of them are redundant here, at least 13 lines. And here is the required power. So it's very simple .csv file I have uploaded into the system, and the tool confirmed that information to me. Now let's continue and process the outcome. So here is the summary. Let's take a look. As you can see, all the data I have uploaded into the system with the CSV file is shown here, so I can also double check if there's anything wrong. All the powers I need, redundancy information, loudspeaker naming, and then as you can see here, the total line load has been calculated. Then the optimization needs to be done. Which speaker line will be connected to which amplifier and even to which output, to the which channel, I mean. So as you can see here, cluster 1 and amplifier 1, meaning that the amplifier 1 is being fed by the multifunctional power supply cluster 1, is here with 4 channels amplifier, and I will be using 352 watts if I will connect lobby A, technical rooms, offices, and control room to the first amplifier, and lobby and the guest rooms to the second amplifier, corridors and the restroom to my third amplifier here. And I will be having 1042 watts in total. And here is another summary, how effective I'm using my system. So the optimization of loudspeaker line and summary you can see here. The total amount of power I can use is 1800 watts because I'm using 3 amplifiers and each delivering 600 watts. And the assigned power I'm using with the information I gave to the tool is 1042. So the power utilization here, the installed one, is 58. It could even be 68 because I have 15% reserved amplifier power. So I am in a very safe position here when it comes to use of total power. After checking those information, you can come to the preliminary bill of material. Here, the tool tells you to use one system controller large, which is right now the only available system controller in PRAESENSA. We have 2 types of amplifiers, 4-channel or 8-channel. It advised me to use 3 of 4-channel amplifiers, would actually be enough, and 1 multifunctional power supply to feed them. Then, of course, as I have given 13 different loudspeaker lines together with the redundant ones. It advised me to use end-of-life devices of 13 pieces and a desktop call station. The tool doesn't advise me to have a wall mount solution here automatically, wall mount call station, because there's no data about it. But if I see the need, I can also manually add it here. Let's say I will add one for firemen. So as you can see, you can also check here. The tool didn't put it, but you have added later on. That comparison is also available. If, let's say, you are not using a EN54 system for some reason and you want to supply power to your amplifiers or to another third-party system, it could also be a Dante system or something, and you need some more accessories to add to your system, you can always do it manually in here. Last but not least, the battery and the power calculation part. So here, the time in quiescent mode will be 24 hours. That is the general application. In the event of evacuation, if we lose our batteries, this system will have enough batteries to support itself at least 30 minutes. And we still want to have a safety factor because, of course, batteries are aging, or there can be a lot of different reasons why they're not performing in their best way. So we always put a safety factor that this, of course, you can always change these parameters, which is great out here in the system. And finally, the tool tells me in the cluster 1, or in other words, in the MPS 1, I would need 146 ampere hours. The maximum current can be this and all other data that I need about power. Even as you can see here, sometimes it is important for your end user or for your customer as consultants and specifiers to understand how much BTU you need to cool down the technical room. Even that information is here. If you want to have more idea about power tool, so I can show you one example, which happens generally in Finland, for example. If I take this to 72 hours, for example, like a Finnish project, then you can see tool will tell me that there is something wrong and will mark the required battery capacity with red color here. But you need to change these kind of things in the power tool. So if you want to play with the power calculator, power side in a little bit more detailed way, if you want to see what's going on there, you can always go to the powerful from this link you see here, and that will give you a better idea about the details. So this is PRAESENSA configuration utility. But one other aim of us is not just helping you to design the system and find out the bill of material, but also creating a tender specification file out of it. So after you have done this, you can go to the print. You can select all these sections we have gone through. You can select which ones you like. If you don't need power calculation, you can just cancel that part, for example. Or you can add also technical specifications part, which is basically giving more information about each and every component in the system. So I will also click all of them and press confirm. Now my PDF is being prepared. As you can see here, I will save it. And now let's go through the last report we have generated from the tool. As you can see, this PDF file summarizes all the information we have seen before in the online tool. So this is now in a format that as a consultant, I can easily send to my customers. Even I have the technical specifications of the devices here. As you can see, pictures, the technical information. So actually this file can at least be used as a tender. But if you want to change some namings, the format a little bit, you can always come here, edit this file with Adobe Acrobat, and then generate a Word file out of it. Save as. Instead of PDF, you can select any other format you like. And then you will be able to playing with the file, and your tender will be ready in minutes. So this is how you use System Configuration Utility tool for PRAESENSA. But Martin, one more question. What kind of languages we have that? This is one of the favorite asked questions we receive, I guess.
Yeah, thank you, Ozan. Of course, we know that especially tender specification is very often required in local language for the local market. So we have this tool available in many languages already, and we also have a lot of flexibility tooling. So if there is a language that we are still missing and you would like to have it added, then get in contact with your local Bosch sales representative, and we can see if we can embed your language in the tool as well.
Yeah, that's great news. Thanks very much for that. And it was all from us today. We hope that you enjoy PRAESENSA and also the System Configuration Utility tool. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put any comment under this video, or just call us or your local representative of Bosch and ask them. Thanks very much for your time and for watching this.